Big ups, y'all. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching another one of my videos. Yo, Batman and Robin, Bonnie and Clyde, even the UK's own Dr. Watson and Sherlock Holmes. Those are just a few of the names that I would list as what I would call dynamic duos. I think it's pretty clear that if we think about the NBA, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, or even the NFL's uh, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, those are undoubtedly on the Mount Rushmore of sports dynamic duos. But look out, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, look out, because I believe that there is, in fact, a new dynamic duo that has just burst onto the scene today in the Premier League. That's right. You know who it is. You've seen the video, the thumbnail. You already know who it is. It's none other than Erling Haaland and Ryan Cherki. So listen, don't tell me it's too soon. Don't tell me to give it time. I've seen what I've seen, heard what I heard, and I know what I know. And now I've said what I've said. These two together are going to be electric. Man City today, we had a tough match against second place Bournemouth, coming on the back of a tough 1-0 loss to Aston Villa last weekend. Look, it was tough. But Haaland had two first half goals, both of which were on Ryan Cherki assists, both which were on very direct attacks compared to the typical 25 plus passing sequences that you probably think of or envision when you think of Man City goals. The things that the things that we said that we needed to do to get the best out of Haaland, play more direct, play more balls in behind, all the things that we really haven't seen consistently since probably since the treble season. Look, I have no idea necessarily going into this match. I didn't know how Pep would get Cherki on the pitch, but we all knew we wanted him on there somewhere. So today, Cherki was lined up as the right winger according to the lineup graphics. But look, both balls for the assists were played from much more central spaces. And so, look, I'm not going to go into too much depth because I'm sure I'm going to do that on Shades of Blue or all the other places that I get on here and talk to you at. But reality is we were only up 2-1 at half. Both goals by Haaland. And it felt, if I got to be honest, it felt like we should have been up probably 3 or 4 goals at least. So in that moment, I'm really just praying that it doesn't come back to bite us in the butt. It's 2-1. That Bournemouth goal, I got to be honest, Donnarumma comes out. He's unable to clear the ball on his punch. Just ended up kind of flapping at it. Ended up an easy little tap in for American-born Bournemouth player Tyler Adams. Donnarumma is looking for the foul. He's looking for the foul. His arm was initially being held. The guy had him hooked. He was initially being held by the attacking player, but the guy let it go. In my opinion, he let it go in plenty of time for Donnarumma to have a better punch. Didn't really impact him, if you ask me my opinion. So I guess I'll ask you, do you think he was fouled? What do you think? Put it in the comments. Let me know. Put in the comments if you think that was a foul or not, or if you think Donnarumma should have done better on that punch. But to his credit, Donnarumma did do better. He did redeem himself with that big save in the 54th minute, preserving that 1-goal lead. And then that was quickly followed up, I believe, 5 minutes later in the 59th minute by a Nico O'Reilly goal to put us up 3-1 and effectively and ultimately wrap up the win. Phil Foden would end up with the assist for the O'Reilly goal, so he joins Cherki on the stat sheet with the assist. So again, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I'm telling you, these two are going to be electric. These two are going to light up the Premier League. I see Cherki's already got I believe 7 GNA in like 9 games or something like that. It's ridiculous. He is a star, and we just got to get him on the pitch more and more as he continues to come back from injury. So I'm going to leave this here, but City do go back to the top of the table, or second in the table, excuse me. We're still 6 points behind Arsenal. Just to run down some other things really quickly, I would say The Dodgers, big ups to them. The Dodgers win the World Series. They defeated the Toronto Blue Jays last night 5-4 in the 11th inning. The Dodgers were down 3-2 in this series, but they won Game 6 and Game 7 and pulled off a little bit of an upset. I think Toronto fans thought they were going to win it once they were up 3-2. All they had to do was win one. They couldn't do it. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not really much of a baseball fan anymore. I'm just kind of like mildly interested in it. Get me to the playoffs, get me to the World Series. Look, I know it's America's pastime, quote unquote. But I think for me, I really probably only have room for 3 sports in my life. There was a time when it was basketball, baseball, football. Back when I collected baseball cards and back in the late 80s and early 90s, all the way throughout Ken Griffey Jr.'s career, because he's my favorite player of all time. And then that was pretty much it for me. Soccer, as we would call it here in the States, or football, has clearly become, I think, the sport that I watch and or follow the most. Followed quickly and closely by football and or basketball, American football and basketball. That said, it is the World Series. It's Game 7, so you kind of got to tune in. I did tune in. I found myself kind of rooting for the Dodgers while my wife kind of rooted for the Blue Jays. The Dodgers did win, but it's not something that would really impact me one way or the other from a sports standpoint. But what did impact my weekend? What did impact my weekend was the horrific and, in my opinion, embarrassing loss by the Miami Hurricanes to SMU, or Southern Methodist University. This is our second loss in 3 weeks. And I am honestly ready for this coach to go. Mario Cristobal can go. And I know that's crazy, but he's got to go. Look, we can keep, and I think we should keep, the defensive coordinator. Pretty much everybody else, y'all got to go. If you watch my videos, you know me from city content creation. You know, I like to think I'm pretty much a level-headed guy. But I've had enough of this. Cristobal has done an excellent job as a recruiter. He's locked down South Florida pretty much, got a lot of those local recruits to stay in Miami. He's got all the financial backing in the world that people, all the boosters have come up off their bread. But if you can't win the games that matter, who cares? Look, we came into this game ranked number 10 because we'd already fallen. And now that we lost, we're down to number 18. We've fallen like 15 or 16 spots in the polls in 3 weeks. Bro, that's shameful. It's shameful. I think the most damning stat that I saw is that during his tenure, the Hurricanes have gone 24-7 in the months of August to October. 24-7, 77 or 0.774 win percentage, however you want to say it. But then that falls off a cliff in the months of November and December, where we go 4-11. We go 24-7 through the months of August and October. We then turn around and go 4-11 from November to December. 0.267 win percentage at the tail end of the season, the point where it matters. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, that's just not good enough. We got to do better. Mario Cristobal has to do better. Carson Beck, number 11, the quarterback on the screen, it's got to do better. It's the second game, again, a loss, where he's thrown an interception to end the game. You can't do that. You got to give us a chance. They got to go. That said, I will stop here and give a shout out to the Indiana Hoosiers, who once again won big again this weekend, beat Maryland 55-10. They're winning. They're winning big most weeks, and they are completely and totally, fully locked in at that number 2 spot in the polls, only bettered by Ohio State. They go on the road next weekend again. They're on the road again. They were on the road this weekend, but they go on the road again next weekend to face Penn State next Saturday. Penn State, typically a really good team, came into this season, I think, with some high hopes and high expectations, have completely fallen off. They've ended up firing their coach, James Franklin. I don't even know who the new dude is, but that's who the Indiana Hoosiers, IU Hoosiers, have this weekend. So I expect them to get another win, but I don't expect it to be easy, but I do expect them to win. Anyway, this is like 10 minutes. That's enough for this. Talking about this weekend, like I said, my Canes ruined it on Saturday. It was horrific. It just set the tone for my weekend. I was kind of angry, not even kind of, I was heated. But thank God for my Manchester City. I think Jurgen Klopp said God was a City fan, and I thank God for that because I needed a win, and they got it for me. Big ups to Haaland and to Cherki, this new dynamic duo that's gonna, I think, take over the Premier League. So big ups to you for watching. Appreciate it.